photos of themselves. Well, welcome everybody. Happy Friday. My name is Patrick. I run the marketing department here at Art Storefronts and been doing that for years and years and years. And I've been thinking a whole lot about Instagram recently, and there's some very, very like specific reasons for that. One, everyone needs to understand that it is the most important social networking platform for folks that are trying to sell art or photography. It's not even close in that regard. And I have some data I'll show you, and then I'll sort of back it up anecdotally with data that we have as a business. And every year for the last umpteen years that we've been doing this, we really start banging the drum about getting you guys prepared for the fourth quarter, the last 3 months of the year, which are like primarily Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the lead up to the Christmas buying season, and then over the years, everyone has started having their sales like earlier and earlier and earlier in the year. Like it used to be Thanksgiving, then Black Friday, and then Cyber Monday came, and now like people move their sales up like 4 weeks. And the reason I bring that up is because the work that you do now, establishing yourself and taking care of your Instagram, is going to yield dividends when we finally get to the biggest art selling time of the year. So it's very, very important in that capacity. So what I'd like to do today is first sort of like speak at a high level of some of the things and why Instagram is so important, some of the things that you need to focus on, and a whole bunch of the stuff that you can ignore. And then, I find almost universally that artists and photographers are making a ton of mistakes and sort of unforced errors on Instagram. And I think, by doing the audits, we'll be able to kind of just go through and talk about some of the things that you could be doing better and things that you need to worry about and things that that you don't want to do. But really, your goal is to have your Instagram account humming as we get close to the Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales. If you do that, you are going to sell significantly more art than you did in the years previous, and it just goes that way without saying. So, I figure I'll talk briefly about the platform quickly. Then I'm going to kind of go into like what constitutes a properly set up Instagram profile. Then I want to talk about sort of the social networks within the social networks, which is the crazy thing. We have to talk about reels without question, and then we'll finish up and we'll start going right into the audits. And I think that'll be really telling. And so don't flood the chat yet with your Instagram handles. We'll do that as soon as we get to the audit portion. Okay. So one of the things that I always cite that is interesting is your guys' industry, okay, in fine art sales. It doesn't have a ton of reports, okay? The reports that they do put out in terms of like what's selling and how people are finding artists and photographers come from the very, very top end of the table, meaning all of the high net worth art buyers, right? And obviously everyone wants to attract these folks, but I'm talking about art that sells for more than $50,000 a piece and goes up to many, many millions, right? But when we look at the data, and there's two big outfits every single solitary year that provides it. The one I'm citing here comes from Art Basel and UBS Global. They sort of get together on this report, and they put in this figure, and I've watched these reports like since they started doing them. The other one is from this company called the Hiscox Group out of London, and we have to take them with a grain of salt because again, this is for art that's selling over $50,000 a piece, right? And this one in particular talks about sales channels used by HNW. HNW is just high net worth. Sorry, I gotta get the phone out of the way. High net worth collectors for purchasing in 2021, and you can ignore the dealers online, dealers gallery auctions. We all know about that. Art fairs. They're not even talking about the local shows and fairs. They're talking about the high net worth individual art fairs. Online 3P platforms. 3P is just third party. So they're really just talking about Saatchi in there or Sotheby's online. Dealers, direct sales, and then Instagram, 31%. And you see this year after year after year. I've watched the share of folks that are using Instagram exclusively growing and growing and growing and growing. Okay, and so too on the same graph here, and it's telling in the sense that the high net worth individuals are getting sucked into an artist ecosystem. They're saying, or they're not, and they're finding and they're discovering an artist on Instagram. And it's a combination of those two actions that's leading to purchases of works that are more than $50,000, right? So I think that's like a really, really compelling stat. And then, if I looked at our stats internally, and the majority of the artists on our platform, we have a little bit over 7,800 customers. And because they're all hosted on our platform, I get to see all of their data. And so I know where all of the traffic sources are that the sales are coming in at. And when we shift our focus down to, prices under $100 all the way up to prices of, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, there's nothing that even comes close. There's nothing that even comes close. SEO, you don't need to waste a minute of your time because art is not selling as a result of organic searches. Pinterest, I've never seen a single solitary sale in our entire customer database from Pinterest. Twitter, no. YouTube, no. Facebook, yes, but not to the extent of Instagram, okay? So Instagram is without question the most important platform. And when we understand that, we market there first and we market everywhere else second. So until you've got Instagram sorted, until you feel like you're really rocking Instagram, you don't want to move downstream to the other platforms just yet. And I think that's an important thing to say. Now, that allows us to get into what I call, the Instagram credit check, okay? And this is one of the first things that you need to think through as you start marketing and contemplating Instagram. When we see a product in the real world, it can be anything that we would potentially buy. What do we immediately do? We go to Amazon, we look the product up, and we read the reviews. Is this thing a decent product? Is it not a decent product? Does it have shill reviews? Read a couple. Let me get a good idea whether or not I should buy this or not, right? Like, reviews are a massive part of our purchasing intent and purchasing decision making. Huge deal on Amazon. The same thing applies in the art world. And the credit check, the Amazon reviews of the art world, is when they hit your Instagram page and they look at your Instagram page, does this look like an artist that's up on the up and up? Does this look like an artist that has credibility? And while it's not going to affect and ruin every sale, especially if you don't, have the best this, that, and the other on there, it does influence buying decisions. And so what we sort of have come to learn as a business, and what we recommend all of our customers do, is get their Instagram profile up to snuff, such that you pass the credit check, right? Such that you look like you are an artist that knows what they're doing. You have a real business. You're out there creating. I might want to follow you. I might want to give you my email address. And yes, I might want to purchase something from you, okay? And follower count comes into it to a certain extent, but it's not as important as having all of the proper visual elements sorted, okay? And I'm going to use our profile at Art Storefronts as sort of like an example to illustrate what this might look like. And it's really pretty simple, okay? But it's all important. When I hit your Instagram profile, I want to feel like you are a credible creator, that I might want to follow you, that I might want to purchase things from you, and all the little pieces stack up. And so as we look at the top, right, we're a business, we're not an artist, and I'll show you some artist examples later, but I'm just going to use mine to display. You instantaneously see a high quality logo, okay? For you guys, it can be a logo, it can be a photograph, but for the love of God, can the photograph be in focus, okay? If I see a blurry photograph, if anyone sees a blurry photograph, you are not competent. I am leaving, I'm done, okay? The minute you look at someone's Instagram profile that has a blurry or cropped or silly looking photograph, they're out. Don't go too artsy on that thing. It should be your smiling face because they want to bond with you, or if you have a nice logo, okay? Important. You need a proper byline, and you need a link to something. Ideally, you should have some emojis in it. Again, we're a business. We don't have to do that, but make it look a little bit visually appealing, and we'll get into it more. This next row are what we call story highlights. And so when you make an Instagram story, and we can get into that later, what it allows you to do is save, and this is just an Instagram story here.
Instagram.
What it
So
allows
art
you to do
business.
is save it as a story highlight. And not only can you save it as a story highlight, but you can also give it its individual little thumbnail. So you're allowed some creativity in what the story highlights look like. But instantaneously, it is a credit check onto whether or not you know how to use the platform. And they're very, very easy to create. You could get them all done this afternoon if you were so inclined. You don't need a whole bunch of them. But the way to think about these story highlights is, if I came to your website and I hit the menu in the website, that's what your story highlight should be. It should be the menu. It should be about me. It should be commissions. It should be originals. It should be limited editions. It should be your sales. It should be get on your email newsletter. A great way to think about it is, does this reflect the menu on my website? Because that's what it is. It's a sub menu, okay? It's a sub menu. It's very important. Now, we can talk about, for the more advanced of you, I mean, if you have a website or you have a destination to send them, fantastic. Put the website in there. But, the link tree becomes an important little, the way to think about a link tree, and there's multiple pieces of software to do it, but Linktree was the first one. Like, let's say we're getting on a subway and we all get on the subway the first stop, which is Instagram. If the end destination is your website, Linktree is like a stop that's in between. Okay, and it can also be thought of as like a menu for what you have going on. And if you have a lot going on in your operation, you're a commercial photographer and you're doing portraits, but you're also selling fine art, and you also have a business where you're teaching people to take long exposure photography. A Linktree is like a step in between your website, because almost no one's website is properly mobilely formatted. Yes, ours are, but most people's are not. They look like garbage on a mobile phone. They take forever to load. So the whole point of the Linktree here is to have something that's really, really snappy in the way that it loads. And Linktree is a brand. Omer, you can throw the link to it in the chat if you want to. There's a whole bunch of different ones. Okay, there's a whole bunch of different ones. For this, I think I'm gonna pivot over and I'll just grab an artist. I'm gonna grab Betty because I think she does a great job. There she is. Okay. So you can see in Betty's case, it more talks about, what I reference, right? High quality image in the thumbnail. She's got some lovely little emojis in her description here, right? She, instead of a link tree, just has this thing called links, which has the links to all her jazzy stuff that she's doing, da 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 da, but perfectly mobilely formatted, right? You can see all of her story highlights, which are beautiful, utterly, totally, and completely on brand. Okay, so we have those things covered. In terms of follower count, like as a minimum credit check, I know it's a chicken and the egg situation. Okay. I know you have to hack at it. I know it takes time. I know some of you guys have 5, 10, 15, 20. Well, the Reels is the solution for that right now. And we'll get into it in a minute. But you start working on the followers. And look, if you get above 200, you're okay. You're okay. You're going to look great, right? Like, it's actually less about the follower count, although it is a credit signal. And you can see Betty's got 135,000. But the next is we get into the feed, right? And Instagram is always a platform on the move and evolving and changing, and they just recently changed the whole layout. But you have the feed, right? And you can see in Betty's case, I don't know why mine's not loading. Oh, come on, what's going on there? So you have the feed, and it scrolls down forever and ever and ever, right? And you can see in Betty's case, Betty's a really talented and established artist, and once you see one piece of her work, you'll recognize every single solitary one. She's one of the few that doesn't experiment. She has a niche. She knows what her niche is. She's nailed it. She's never changed it. All of her pieces look in a similar vein, a similar format. But the post makeup in here, okay, the makeup of the posts that you have, and we'll get into the various different post types in a second. The number one mistake that I see, okay, and I see it all the time, is just posting 2D image after 2D image after 2D image after 2D image after 2D image. And I have to explain to you guys this because you do not sell JPEGs. There's no one on this call that sells JPEGs. People do not lust after JPEGs. You cannot hang a JPEG on the wall, okay? By JPEG, you know what I mean? I mean just a two-dimensional image that's, from your phone or whatever. Well, one of the things that Betty does is she has a proper post balance, and we can get into that. It's got videos and still images, a combination of everything. But you see her smiling face all over the place, right? It's not just her art on the wall. She is merchandising her art and holding it all the time. And again, this is a really established account. I don't expect anyone to get this right out of the gates. But when we get into the audits, she's got reels. When we get into the audits, you do not sell JPEGs. You sell these. This is tangible. It's real. I can hold it. It has 3 dimensions. I can see that it goes on my wall. It's something that I can lust after. And so if you're one of the ones that's just posting JPEGs all the time, serious problem, okay? But we're on the overall Instagram credit check right now, right? So having the nice high quality picture, we can sum it all up. Having a proper bio, ideally with some emojis, telling some interesting things about you, be artsy, be creative in that. That's totally fine. Linking either to your website or to a link tree. Again, there's a whole bunch of different brands that do that. Having story highlights sorted, right? These little guys here. And then having a proper post balance where there's some videos, there's images of you, there's images of the work, there's images of you holding the work. Occasionally there's stuff of you and your process. All of that is critically important. And when someone hits your profile, they're going to do exactly what I just did. They're going to scroll down on your feed and they're going to be like, is this stuff there or not? I mean, you hit Betty's and in 2 seconds you're like, okay, whoa. Number one, this woman is doing things. She's got so many things going on. It's unbelievable. The demand for her art must be staggering. She's teaching classes, da-da-da-da-da. So all of that is critically important. That's at a credit check level, okay? Do you pass the credit check? If you don't pass the credit check currently, you've got some work to do, right? You've got some work to do, and we have some time to get it done ahead of Q4. So that's the good news. So you can follow a number of different artists. Don't worry, you can put Betty's handle in here. I mean, they abound. But that is what a proper Instagram handle looks like. And again, doesn't matter, 200 followers, 100 followers. The most important thing is that you get all the rest of those little visual elements correct, such that when I land on your profile, okay, to read my Amazon review, I feel like I've nailed it and I know what's going on. Okay, next. This is really abstract, and if you're just getting started on Instagram, it's a little bit hard to understand this, but sort of the way that I like to think about it, I like to give an analogy. And you know when you like go to a house party and for whatever reason, certain people just instantaneously gravitate towards one room in the house party and that's where they stay the whole night? Instagram is a house party, okay? And the different rooms of the house party are the different parts of the social network where you can create content. It is extremely, extremely important that you have content for each one of the little house party rooms, okay? Sort of be like, to keep going on the analogy, if you were a musician and you were only doing one type of post on Instagram, then only one of the rooms in the house is going to hear your music. But when you start posting to all three, okay, or all four, I should say, your music is going to be going into all those rooms. And in some cases, 20% of the users on Instagram only go to one room. That's it. And that's Reels, right? 20% of users only go for Reels. They're only consuming Reels. So if you're not creating Reels, you have zero exposure to 20% of the platform. That's a problem, right? We want to make sure that we have on all. So we can go through them. But the way to think about it is like if I go to Betty's profile and I get in here, right, and I'm scrolling through her feed, this is how some people consume Instagram. They're going to go to your feed and they're just going to go through and look at all your posts and go down and normal order. And you know, some of them are going to be videos, some are going to be still images, but that's it. That's what they do. Okay, and that's the regular feed, and we'll talk. We'll talk about how that feed gets filled up in a second. Now, if I look in the upper left-hand corner, okay, we can see this little multicolored reel around her profile. If I click that, that puts me into what are called Instagram stories, okay? And, you know, a perfect example is like, I've got a guy who I think is in here, I don't know if he's still in here, on my marketing team where his only Instagram experience, the only thing that he does is he goes in and he looks at people's stories. That's it. That's it. They come in, they look at stories, they don't look at anything else, that's it, they're out. So you have to have exposure to Instagram stories. And the latest and the greatest, obviously, is Instagram Reels. Essentially what they've done is they've taken all video and they've put it all into Reels, okay? So everything is Reels now, essentially. And any video that you make goes into your video tab. And anytime you post a video, it automatically goes to your feed. And oh, by the way, anytime you make a video, it's very easy to take that video and put it into an Instagram story, okay? So the takeaway, though, is really this house party analogy. And you have to have content for all the rooms in the house party. And there's a lot of people that are like, no, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to get there. Oftentimes the difference between reaching someone and not reaching someone on this platform is whether or not your music is being played in those rooms, okay? So you really have to get in the habit. And trust me, I see the look on some of your faces. It's like, oh God, I hate posting on this thing. I hate social media. I don't want to tell people what I had for lunch. Are you kidding me? But at the same time, when you're not hitting these other rooms, you're missing out on a tremendous amount of the attention, right? It's like Instagram is the boat, and the boat is out in the ocean, and the fish are 360 degrees around the boat. They're schooling, they're going everywhere. And if you're doing one kind of post, you only have one line in the water. You're missing out on catching all of those other fish that are everywhere around the boat. So it's really, really important to understand that just conceptually and then do the best you can. I'm not trying to kill you guys and say like you're gonna have to start doing 55 things a week and become a full-blown Hollywood television studio, because all of you are already giving me that look like this guy's crazy. Get out of here. Let's go start the weekend. It is imperative, you guys, that you start spreading it around like that. When you do, you get such a higher level of exposure. It is absolutely staggering. Okay, it's staggering. All right, next. And I realize my presentation's going long, but all of this stuff is really, really important. We got to talk about Reels. Okay. What are Reels? Does everyone know what Reels are? I don't even know if everyone knows what Reels are. Reels are these. They are before. They are portrait-sized videos, okay, that Instagram stole verbatim from TikTok and are now making their number one, you must do these things. YouTube, then essentially Instagram copied TikTok. YouTube copied TikTok, and now all three of them have a product that looks like this, that looks identical. You can barely differentiate between the three because all these people are doing are just all copying one another. The takeaway from this, though, is in my day, you know, when you just wanted to zone out, you would sit in front of the television, turn it on, and just let the boob tube feed you, right? Maybe flick channels now and again. Now, this has become television. People come in here and they just flip up one after another, and they let Instagram and its algorithm, and I don't care if you're talking about YouTube Shorts or Instagram or TikTok, people are watching this now, and people are searching it. And again, I'm just in Betty's feed right now rather than in the random feed. But that's all people are doing all day long. They're just scrolling through these things, and the algorithm is so smart that if you spend extra time on one particular subject matter, it's going to know that is the channel on this television that you like to be tuned into, and it's going to show you more. And so let's say this is plein air painting, outdoor painting, and because I hung around on this and because I liked it, what the algorithm is going to do is it's going to be like, oh my gosh, this person really likes content like this. This must be the channel that I want to show them. And so now as I scroll up and I keep doing it, they're going to start slowly feeding me more of those types of posts, right? It's like on a little bit of a landscape vibe right now. But that's how it works, and it's television, and people are getting lost in spending hours and hours and hours doing these things. I am not sure it is a good thing for humanity, okay? I certainly find it incredibly entertaining sometimes, but the sheer amount of time people are spending on this is staggering. That is not the best thing about it, though, okay? That is not the best thing about it. The best thing about it, okay, is... oh, yeah, where am I going? I'm going here. These reels, okay, and the competition from TikTok. And so for those who don't know, TikTok is a social network that I don't care for, that I feel like is secretly owned by the Chinese government, and that is siphoning away all the children's attention, okay? It's pulling users from Instagram at an alarming rate. Instagram is terrified about this, okay? What happened, I have to give you the brief history because it's important. Facebook started. Facebook was dominant. Facebook had all the money in the world. Facebook sees a new entrant come into town called Instagram and goes, oh my gosh, all of our users are leaving and going to Instagram. What are we going to do about this? They had a little crisis talk. Then they went and bought Instagram. Instagram said yes, okay? That's what happened phase one. Phase two, a new entrant came in and with a really cool feature and started stealing a bunch of attention from Facebook. That was Snap, okay, and Snapchat. Snapchat started stealing users, and guess what happened? Facebook was like, don't worry. We know exactly what the playbook is. We're just going to go buy them. They tried to go buy Snapchat. Snapchat told Mark Zuckerberg to pound sand. What ended up happening is Mark Zuckerberg came back. He's like, we need a plan B. Plan B is we are just going to copy their feature verbatim. And that's what they did. Snapchat created stories. Instagram stole it verbatim and created Instagram stories. Okay? Now, the third time has come around. This time, it's TikTok. Actually, Zuckerberg did try to buy him this time, but to get access to China, they told Zuckerberg to pound sand. And they're taking the users. All of a sudden, they're like, okay, we have to completely change Instagram and Facebook to copy them verbatim. Why this is a profundity is for the first time, it's certainly in my career watching social media evolve, the normal social contract, the way it used to work, is we are gonna work really hard on your platform, Facebook, Instagram, and we're gonna gain followers. And some percentage of those followers are gonna see all of our posts. And so asking people to follow the page, asking people to like me. The way the paradigm worked was you get followers, the followers will see your content, right? Now, way back in the day, the golden days, hashtag the golden days, I would follow somebody. I would follow Teresa there on Facebook, and I would see 100% of her posts. And she would follow me on Facebook and see 100% of my posts. Well, guess what? Facebook only kept that going until there was enough people on the platform for it to start growing like crazy. Then it went down to like 2% of the people see your posts, right? If you wanted people to actually see your posts, you had to give them money in the form of ads. And that is the way it's been because Facebook and Instagram haven't had any damn competition, okay? TikTok has entered the market, and while I think it is owned by communist China and truly evil, I have to thank them because they have introduced competition into a market where there was a monopoly, and they have busted a paradigm. The paradigm is you go out and get followers, and as a result of that, they are going to see your content. Instagram, and by definition Facebook, is so terrified of TikTok, they've destroyed the paradigm. Okay, what does that mean? I can join Instagram today. I can have 0 followers. I can create a really compelling Instagram reel and have 40,000 people see it over the course of a weekend. That was not possible before. That was never even possible before. So the social media contract is utterly, totally, and completely changed. And this is a big, big, big deal. Okay. I've been a digital marketer my whole career and understood what's going on my whole career. And this feels like the really, really early days of SEO. SEO is like search engine optimization. Anyone that has no idea what they're talking about still thinks it's a good idea for art. It's not. But you type in landscape photos, and if you appeared as the first result because of SEO, you would get all the business, right? Google ads were the same thing really early on. Like anytime that you get to something very early, there's just this incredible arbitrage opportunity, right? It's like beachfront real estate in California in the 60s, right? Huge deal. You held on to that, you got there first, you're extremely wealthy. That's what Reels feels like. And so this situation with Reels, at least right now, you have to start making hay while the sun shines, and you have to be making thousands of them. Okay, you have to be making thousands of them. And again, you guys are like looking at me like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Thousands of them. I'm just saying, get in your mind thousands of them. That way, if you create 150 of them, we're gonna all win. Okay. So the point of Reels, there are very many points of Reels. Okay, an incredibly large amount of points of Reels. And yes, romance content just means content that's not like advertising a sale. So yes, you can do that. Yes, you can use Reels for sales. Yes, you can do it to grow your Instagram following. You can show your process. You can merchandise your work like I was just doing. You can show you delivering an order, promote anything, tell stories, like whatever the case may be, you can do it. But you want to be doing it. You want to get on it while you can right now because they are just so incredible. And by the way, I'll even show this just because I know some of you guys really, really need the tactical. But in terms of an ROI, by which I define return on investment of your time, energy, treasure, and talent, of a marketing activity, creating a reel is one of the highest ROI things that I've ever seen, because you can create the reel, okay? Once it's done, and let me just get this out of the way and get the other thing. Once it's done, okay, once you create this reel and it's done, here's a reel, right? Then it gets posted to your feed. So by creating one reel, we've now put our music into 2 rooms, okay? Then you can grab the reel and put it in your Instagram story. Now we're in all 3 rooms with creating just one reel. Then you can download the reel on your phone, post it to Facebook, and it does all of those with one single content creating effort, okay? That is really, really powerful, and that is really, really, really profound. And, a lot of people I'm not going to turn this into like a how to do all of it. Anytime you guys have a question, YouTube is the answer. Okay? How to create a reel, how to create story highlights, how to get a high quality this. My mom calls me and tells me, how do I fix something? I tell her YouTube is the answer. Okay? Because I need to train her, I need to train myself. I'm now training my children. YouTube is the answer. It has it. It's updated instantaneously. These people just, bless their hearts, make tutorials on absolutely everything. So if you have no idea how to do any of this, go to YouTube. Okay? But let's just say I created a reel. I want to show you how easy this is, and I just finished it. And by the way, this was our first one that went viral, which for us, we're not really like, we're hawking software here, okay? We're not a sexy thing on Instagram. But this is the reel. All I have to do after I've just made it is just go click the paper airplane, add the reel to the story, click one little button, click share, and it's done. It's done. That's it. So now, after I've just made this reel, and again, I don't want to turn it into a Reels tutorial, but after I just made that reel and I go back to my platform profile, sorry, get up there. And if I go look at my Instagram stories now, I just broadcast my music into this other room. It's loading. It's taking its time to load. I just broadcast my music into this other room in 10 seconds. That took me 10 seconds, okay? This is another really, really hacky thing, and I love this, okay? I love this, love this, love this. Patricia, see Patricia's comment? Okay, hold on. I got to do this, okay? Got to train Patricia. The answer is YouTube, Patricia. How do I put text on a reel? Look it up on YouTube, okay? I might answer that later, but honestly, the answer is YouTube. But I want to show you something else, the subtlety of this. What was I just going to show you? Create the reel. This is amazing, okay? This is absolutely amazing. So I have like longer rants on this that I've done, but one of the biggest problems you guys all have is you get what are called buying questions all the time, okay? You get these things all the time, and I'm going to give you, for instance, what you guys are terrible at is turning them into selling conversations. And there are a number of reasons for that. One, the majority of artists and photographers hate selling, hate negotiating, are just plain lousy on it, have self-confidence problems, not charging what we're worth. Trust me, I do this all the time. I know this, okay? I can see some head nods in there too. So what's really, really interesting about Instagram Reels, and I'm going to show this in a second, is you can take buying questions and turn them into selling conversations. And not only is it one-to-one, but because Instagram Reels, it's one-to-many. Okay, it's one-to-many. What do I mean? Just let me know if any of you have heard of this or heard anything along these lines. Okay, your work is so beautiful. You're so incredibly talented. What a beautiful piece. That is amazing. You should start selling these. You know, what sizes does that come in? Those all represent buying questions, okay? Now, when you start creating Instagram Reels, you can start grabbing these buying questions and turning them into selling conversations. So let's say Angela leaves a comment on my reel and she's like, "You're so talented, this work is amazing." I can instantaneously respond to that comment and say, "Angela, thank you so much for that compliment. Just to let you know, it's actually all for sale. If you hit the bio, link in the bio in my Instagram, you'll be directed directly to my store where it's for sale. That piece that you liked is available in sizes starting at 24 by 36. Now, just doing that would move the needle for everyone on here. Just learning how to take buying comments and turning them into selling conversations. What is so fantastically interesting about Reels, and again, thank you, PRC controlled TikTok, Communist China don't like you, for introducing this, what I'm going to show you, okay? I'm going to show you. This is how easy this is. And I'm going to grab this one, okay? And this is my reel that I created, and I'm going to go ahead and grab the comments on this, okay? Now I'm going to pick one. Sage advice. I do like that. I'm going to get a good one. Let's see. Great post. Great post. Okay, so let's just say this guy says great post, right? And this is, to be clear, this only works when you create a reel, right? So this guy says great post. So I'm going to go ahead and click reply, right? And this brings up an ordinary little comment reply box. Most people are loosely aware of this if you've ever been on the social network, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this big blue button, and it says great post. Now, what it's done is it's turned on the camera, and the comment, great post, is put up right there, right? And so I can grab this, and so let's say it's great post in my case. That's a buying question, right? And I can just sit here like this, great post, and what's his name? Icon Will. Icon Will, I really appreciate that comment from you. If you liked that post, I have a ton of amazing posts, and I have a podcast. It's called the Art Marketing Podcast. I think you'd really enjoy it. You can find it anywhere just by hitting Google and searching Art Marketing Podcast, or come to the blog, which is on Art Storefronts. I've just realized that. You got to tell me this, Omer, when the dang thing's not on here. Hold on. Save the draft. I know. I'll do it again. Sorry. Tell me, Omer. Omer's on here. He's like, yep, should have been watching. All right, so here's the reel. Here's the comments, right? Sorry, I wasn't showing you guys this. Where was the one that was on? What did he say? Sage advice? No? I thought it was a great post. Let's see. No. Let me just find it. Hold on. I think because I left a comment on it, it went away. Real game right here. Perfect. Done. So I'm going to hit reply, all right? And you can see the person's name is there in the little blue button, right? And don't worry, there's going to be a recording of this, so you can go back and do this. So I can hit this little blue button, and instantaneously it puts the comment right here, right? So all I have to do is hold my phone. Nobody cares about hair. Nobody cares about makeup, okay? I realize I got my circusy little green screen behind me, but nobody cares about any of that. And I can just hit this button, real game right here. I really appreciate your comment, and you're right. That post is dead to rights. It's a very, very good post on pricing. If you're interested in more posts like that, why don't you visit my blog, right, at artstorefronts.com or whatever I would say. And there, I'm done. I hit start. I go next. I really appreciate your comment, and you're right. That post is dead to rights. It's a very, very good post on pricing. If you're interested in more posts like that, why don't you visit my blog? All I have to do is hit next, right? Next, okay, and it's posted. And I'm just gonna save this one to draft, and just to show you, like, you know, we do them all. I used to do them all the time. I don't do as much as I used to, but they're different for you guys. Like, you know, it ends up looking like, I'll show you. It ends up looking like this. So you can see Answer number 10, NGR.
There's the little question that they ask up top.
Yes. And then instantaneously I go into a selling conversation. And like, even on these ones, we're getting a couple thousand views. And so you can take these scenarios where somebody's asking a buying question. Like, this is a really interesting piece. What does it cost? What media types are? What was your inspiration? And you can, just by hitting reply and letting that thing sit there, instantaneously create a piece of content that thousands of people might see. That's pretty insane. That's pretty profound, especially when you're doing it in sales, right? It's also effective when you're talking about your process and the various different things you're doing it. And yes, it can get annoying, doing it hundreds of times a day or the like, but you can cherry pick the comments that are really, really nice. So that's Reels. Reels is immense, is profound, and I think everyone needs to be aware of it, and everyone needs to start practicing. And again, I realize a lot of you guys are like, if you saw my Instagram account, I don't even have an Instagram account. Okay, I don't even know what this person's talking about. You just start where you start, and you get on with it, right? We have to be contrarian in this business, and we have to understand that we're all just fishermen. The fish are attention. They're the eyeballs that we need. I need them to continue growing our product at Art Storefronts. You need them in order to continue growing your art and creative businesses, okay? So we have to be contrarian, and we have to drive the fishing boat to where the fish are, and they're on Instagram. They are just on Instagram. So, yeah, that's what I'd say. That's my pitch on all of it. Do we want to do questions, or do we want to go into audits? I imagine almost all of you guys, from an audit standpoint, will be more or less in the same boat. So I can do either. Well, let's just start and see if anyone has any questions. So if you're one of the brave ones that has your camera on, you can raise your hand and say, hey, I have a question. And I'll know you have a question, and then I can unmute you and bring you on quickly. And then if there's any questions, we can just jump into those. Otherwise, we can start auditing some profiles and see where it goes from there. Dealer's choice. No question? Ah, there's one. Okay, Carlana, you can start. Go ahead.
Hey, can you hear me?
I sure can.
How are you doing, Patrick?
Good. How are you doing?
Are you? I'm very well. Okay, so in regards to what you said about reusing somebody's comment. So if I reuse somebody's comment, is Instagram going to notify them, hey, your comment was used for a new reel?
Yes.
Okay, so they'll be notified. And also, my question is, what highlights are you going to go through that also when you do an audit of our Instagram account? What highlights we should be focusing on so that we can?
Yeah. I mean, I could, and I can, and I will, but I think the mental framework is really important. Step one, have them. I don't care what they are. Okay. Step two, be a little bit more intentional about them reflecting the nature of your business, and a good way to think about them is like more or less make them, make them the menu to your website. What do you have in the header menu of your website? That's a really good way to think about it. And so I've got limited editions, I've got prints, I do shows, I teach classes. This is just me being fun and jovial. These are my process. But really, in order of like the priority is like, one, have them, right?
Yes.
Two, start thinking intentionally about them. Three, change them up from time to time and give them pretty little thumbnails that are on your brand, right? Like that's a great way to do it, and a great way to think about it, I think.
Okay. And sometimes I have difficulty figuring out how to take my posts and putting them into highlights, because there are some times where I've posted things and maybe I posted it incorrectly. I should have done this with it or should have done that with it. But then you can't go back in and say.
You can. It's more saved to story highlights, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so there is a way to go back in and take your posts and put that up as a highlight? All right,
no,
so I'll just have to.
No. It can only be stories. It can only be stories.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
got it.
It does take some thought process, but like, good is the enemy of great, right? Like just get something up there, and then have a think on how you can make them like a little bit more refined and a little bit more like, to on brand, on point, and that and such.
Are you saying that Instagram has completely moved away from being magazine based and that they are now just focused on video and that's pretty much it?
Essentially. But to be honest with you, that's what the alien invasion is this week. 6 months from now, it might change. I don't know. But yes, for the time being, it's really, really heavily indexing video. But people got really, really pissed when they like went whole hog and copied TikTok verbatim. One of the Kardashians even had like 285,000 people sign a petition that said, "Don't TikTok my Instagram."
Yeah. Well, they were the only magazine-based format social media
I know we all
app.
liked it, and we all liked it.
Okay, so moving with the times, with what's going on with the times now.
Mm-hmm.
So I should be real heavy,
yes,
and only sprinkle in a few posts.
Correct.
Is that what we're saying?
That's what I would say. Yeah. So it's
okay, and then am I going to put all those reels on my front
yes,
page?
you are. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's how it goes. That's what you got to do.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm interested to know what you think about my account because I think I've done that, but I don't know.
I've got two other hands up after you, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna answer these two questions, and then we're gonna go right into some audits because everyone's screaming at me, audit, 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 audit. Okay. So that was combination, obviously live and not live. Is that all off? Let me just make sure. Oh, would help if I unmuted myself a little bit, I think. Okay, there was a lot in there, and some of it was probably a little bit confusing. So we can get into audits in just a second. Do we have do we have questions between now and then? I see Rick's got one. If you have one and your camera's on, you can raise your hand. I'll likely see that. Yep, Olga, I gotcha. For everyone else, at the bottom of like the Zoom window, there's this little smiley face, and it says reactions, and there's like you can click it. It's not going to show on the screen, sadly, but when you click that, there's a way for you to digitally raise your hand. You can see Rick's done that already, and that lets me know like, hey, they've got a question. So I'll work through a couple of questions, and then we can get into some audits, and yeah, I can break you guys down. And I realize like, you know, I can go back to when I was in second grade, and my little like second grade thing from my teacher is like he needs to slow down. I can't. I've never been able to do it. I just talk at 100 miles an hour. So I promise you, I will send you the replay if there's anything on this thing that you want to go back and see. But Rick, we'll start with you, and then we'll get to Olga. Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, hi, Patrick. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, thanks for this program today, this webinar. Well, great point. I did not know. You know, I'm doing a lot. I'm doing a lot of reels, and
Good.
I have 113 followers now. So, I just do tons of them and enjoy it and make them all quite unique. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know that I could. Yeah, I do them like you say. I do it, and it's in my you know, on my phone as in the catalog. And then when I do a reel, I just click on the one I've already done, and up it comes.
Yep.
But I can also put that into my story. I can take the reels I've done,
yes,
and do story with them.
Yes.
Right.
Very important.
Now, and what is the time limit on the story? Is it?
It takes care of it for you. It automatically edits it down to what fits in the story box. So it's really easy.
Okay. And the most I can get, one quick question, the most I could get time-wise from the reels is 90 seconds, minute and a half.
Correct.
Okay. I'm learning how to work within it, and that's why I do a lot of them and make it very,
you know how you get to Carnegie Hall, Rick?
Carnegie Hall, I'm almost there.
Practice. Okay.
Oh yeah, and I nearly, if I don't do one a day I miss, I put up a rerun. So
exactly right. You can do that, and that's actually like a great hack. And that reminds me of something. I'm going to mute you, Rick. I'm going to get Olga's question, then I'm going to teach you guys something else quickly. All right, Olga, you're up next. Go ahead.
Hi, Patrick.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. It's a lot of nice, interesting information, and I learned a lot. So I have a couple questions.
Mm-hmm.
First one, so my personal Instagram, I always mix with my, professional Instagram.
Yes.
So I do modeling plus I do art.
Okay.
And what I learned, people really need to see my face.
Yes.
And see my art. So what's the best way to sell art? I mean, to just do your, sale from your professional page or mix with your some personal life?
It's so hard. This is the hard thing about hard things, right? Because how many followers do you have on your modeling?
Not a lot, just maybe 1,400.
1,400, and that's on your art one or your personal one?
It's my personal one, yeah.
Okay.
I have just one page here now.
And is the personal one, are you sort of just using that like really to keep up with family and friends, or are you using it to try and build the modeling career?
No, now it's the business page, so I post a lot, and I actually work for the gallery, so it's not just I post my art, so I post something, events, so I live in Miami, upcoming Art Basel will be here, so I just have a lot of information about art, and I like to share this information with people. But at the same point, I think, damn, maybe it's the best way just do my own, page
Yeah.
and sell just, sell my art from my art page. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I approach it usually as like Instagram accounts, and multiple Instagram accounts are kind of like children. It's way easier to watch one child than it is to watch
Hmm.
three children, right? So
Yeah.
I like to sort of combine them all, and
Hmm.
where everyone gets sort of mixed up is in thinking that the art account should really just have my art stuff, and my personal account should just have my personal stuff. Well, the people that are going to buy your art want to see the personal stuff too. Okay. And not just for you because you're a model and you look like one, but for all of us. They want to know what makes us tick, the stuff that we like to do, the vacations, whether or not we had pets, what we're interested in, what music, because that's how people form bonds with you, right?
Yeah.
So I would just combine it personally all into one,
Hmm.
unless like you were really using the account to build your modeling career. And if you're not
Hmm.
using it to build your modeling career, then that's a different story. And I'm trying to think, it's funny because we have an art storefronts customer, and she was a model for many years, and she still does modeling, and she's doing like the art transition. And
Hmm.
what is her last name? I'm gonna find out right now, and I'm gonna and I'll,
Actually, in Miami, it's like this, like modeling, art, and business. I don't know how it's worked. Yeah. So,
Mhm.
but the second quick question, it was about Instagram Shop.
No,
Literally like a
no.
week.
Answer is no.
No.
www.no.com. So Instagram and Facebook are trying to like insert themselves and control literally everything on the internet. Like at first it was Craigslist, and then it's like, well, let's take over Craigslist, and so they started Facebook Marketplace. And earlier on, there was a bunch of different like really good group software, and so they created Facebook groups. So they're trying to take over the entire internet. And if that guy had his druthers, he would have the entire internet locked up into Facebook. But it's not effective for selling art. If you were selling cosmetics or handbags or T-shirts or swim fins, then maybe I would say that it makes some sense there. But for art, I would much rather have them come to my website, which is Home Court Advantage, where I can capture their email, and
Mhm.
and display the art more prominently. So that's how I would go about it. I wouldn't waste even a second with an Instagram store.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. I appreciate
my
it.
pleasure.
Yeah.
And stay on because I want you to follow this account because I think she does a good job of blending the model and selling art thing.
All right. Yeah. Good.
What? Oh,
Hmm.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'll get it to you in a second. So one thing that I wanted to talk about. What did I want to talk about? Rick brought it up, and it was really So this is really really good. So the way that Instagram Reels work is the way the Facebook algorithm determines how far they're gonna go is the minute that you post it, it's like turning over an hourglass. Okay. And the sand is gonna run out of the hourglass, and Instagram is gonna look at what happened to that Instagram reel the time it was live and that sand ran out of the hourglass. And let's just say it's an hour, right? So when you post a reel, Instagram is gonna look at it for an hour. And once the timer is up, Instagram is gonna go, how much engagement did this reel get? How many people watched it? How many people clicked on it? How many people watched it all the way to the end and didn't skip through it? And then they're going to say, okay, is it worth showing this to more people based on that result, or should I not? And so what I find is that sometimes, excuse me, I'll post something in the morning and it's really good. And I'm like, oh, this thing's going to kill it. It's so good. I just can't wait to see what the results are going to be. And because I posted it in the morning and that's when most people are working and they're not looking at Instagram, it doesn't get that much action. And then I'll delete it, and then I'll post it at like dinner time for most people. And within a few minutes, it'll get like 10,000 views. And I'm like, ah. So if you make a really, really good one and it doesn't do much, delete it, wait till another time, post it again. Then you don't even have to create anything twice. Just delete it and post it again, right? Which is just such an insanely powerful way to do things. So that's what I would say. And someone had their hand up. You cannot merge two Instagram accounts. You can What you can do is you can turn a personal account into a business account at any point in time, and then back and forth again as many times as you want. So that's what I would say. Was it reframed art? Doggone it. I'm just gonna ask my friend. Can you find her IG account? I'm trying to track down this account for Olga because I want to show it off. She does a really good job. one of the things that I went through quickly that I'll go through just here again and just to show you the power. So you make the reel, right? And I'll just grab one of these ones. How to mark up your originals. You make the reel and you click on it, okay? And you press the little paper airplane icon. It's sort of cut off on mine, but you press the paper airplane icon. You go add reel to your story. There it is. You can blow it up, shrink it, do any of the other, no, let's put a fun sticker. I don't know what the hell that thing is, but, put it like that. And then, boom, press that little right arrow key. Boom, press share, and instantaneously it's in your story. So, when I talk about that analogy about how to get this into all the various different rooms on Instagram, and it's doing its thing. So it's, nope. Did it do it? No, I can't see if I did it or not. Let's see. Come on, share. Do it. Done. Now it's posting. I can't touch it for a second. But you create the reel. The reel will live in your videos tab. It will automatically go into your feed. And then if you save it to your story, it's now in your story. And stories decay after 24 hours. And so you could have 10 reels that you created, and every 2 weeks, you're just constantly rotating through which ones you're putting in your stories. And it's just as simple as I just did. I mean, how much time did that take me? Barely any time at all, right? And so if I go back to the Instagram profile for Art Storefronts, and you can see this little multicolored wheel above the icon, there it is. Boom, I just threw it right in there. And what happens is it takes the reel, and it'll only play as long as it allows to in stories. And then when you're done, you just click on it and you go watch reels, and it throws you right to the reel. So you have to do that. In addition to that, 3 little buttons. Is this how you save that? I can never remember. Turn off. Remove the grid, share, link, QR code. That's not how I do it. How do I do it? Get out of there. Oh, okay. I see what I'm doing here. Even though I forget how to do this sometimes. Remove from the profile grid, use archive, turn off commenting, manage captions. I got to figure out how to save it. But the point that I'm making is that it doesn't automatically post to Facebook. So for those of you guys that are marketing, you make the reel automatically gets posted in your feed. You put the reel into the story, and then you save the reel to your phone, and then you go manually post it to Facebook. Okay, you manually post it to Facebook, and that's how you get the most action out of it. And the Facebook Instagram integration doesn't work right now, to the sense the sense that, like, share this automatically on Facebook. That doesn't work. You have to upload it to Facebook, but that's how you get like the most ROI out of it. But any other questions, and then I'll do some audits, and then we can go from there. Lone Hawk, I got you, Lone Hawk. Don't worry. You'll have to unmute. Let me see. Where did he go?
You hear me?
Yeah, I've got you now.
All right. Hey, so I'm curious about, what do you think of like having your art sponsored by Instagram or a video sponsored by them? Because I get mixed reviews on it. Sometimes it's hit and miss. What's your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, what do you mean when you say sponsored? Oh, I lost you. Did you mute again? You did. You hit mute again.
Are you there?
Yeah, I got you again. What do you mean when you say sponsored?
I'm so sorry. So when you do the Instagram, say like I did a painting and then I had it sponsored, it was broadcasted out to like X amount of people in a generalized area. So
you boosted the post.
Boosted the post. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. So what I want you to do is I want you to get all of the money that you've been taking to boost post with, and I want you to gather it up in a nice little pile and wait till it gets cold out, and then light it on fire in your backyard so you'll get some warmth from it, because that's what you're doing right now. You're lighting that on fire.
It's that bad, huh?
It's that bad.
Yeah.
You already know that, right? I'm already confirming what you already know. Friends don't let friends boost posts.
I mean, I did get what I was seeking a little bit, but it didn't really gather me what I was really after.
By which you mean you got a bunch of likes and comments and shares, by which I mean, hear that, Lone Hawk? That's me knocking on your door. I'm going to pick you up, and you show me the button on the ATM machine for likes and comments and shares. There's a reason that button doesn't exist.
I see.
Don't boost post, brother.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate your thoughts on that.
No worries. Anybody else, guys, questions? And then I'll start tearing down some Instagram profiles in person. No? Okay. Not talking a bunch today. I can roll with that. All right. I had one of them up, and I'm just going to sort of grab these at random. And who was this? It's what I believe to be, let me get my zoom out of there. All right, hold on, activate this. Okay, so Tanya Gonzalez. Art, I am an artist. That's awesome, Tanya Gonzalez. So already you have a good quality photo. I can see who you are. That makes me happy. You've got decent follower count already, 316. So you're looking okay there. We need a little bit more professional of an artist statement here with some emojis. And who's the one that I love showing? Let's see, Betty Franks. She's a customer and she's killing it. But let's see. Come on, get to her profile. You know, give me some little emoticons in here talking about what really makes you tick and what your jam is, right? And try to show some personality in here. Then you need to start making some Instagram stories so you can get the Instagram story highlights going on. They're very, very important, okay? You've got a website, which is good. Yep, I see these types of websites all the time. You've actually done a better job with this website than most people do with the website. Okay, you're on Thaza. Yeah, I see. Because at least it doesn't look goofy and a bunch of colors everywhere. But in terms of your art, Tanya, we're going to play a little game on how far down Tanya's feed do I have to scroll till I see a picture of Tanya. Can anybody show me what Tanya looks like? Does anyone have any idea what makes Tanya tick? I certainly don't because she is not in this anywhere. Where are you, Tanya? I can't see you. So you can't just post your art on the wall like this, or I can't even tell if this is real or if it's digital, or if you're just shooting it on the ground. I need you holding it. I need you creating it. I need to get the story highlights going and your bio tuned up a little bit, and then start making some reels. And I'm going to unmute you too, so you can hear me. Follow-up questions, Tanya?
No, I don't. But well, you're right. I mean,
I know.
other than I've been for 2 years now, I've been trying to really upload my Instagram to look like an actual artist page.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't really know how to start other than start taking a bunch of pictures, which I've been doing. I actually had a bunch of other, but nothing with my face or anything in it.
Yep.
I mean, I'm nothing wrong with me. I don't know how to go about all of that. So I'm kind of like on my way of figuring that out.
We're all on our way. We're all on our way of figuring it out. Follow her. I threw her handle in chat. I'll throw it in there again and start seeing some of the stuff that she does and start copying her. I mean, literally, she's that good at it. I mean, there's a bunch of them that are that good of it. But that's what you need to start doing. Good-ish. Okay, she didn't mute it. She muted. Oh, Ted said his was scary. All right, Ted, we got a nice high quality photo. I'll take that, right? I'd like to see some emoticons. I don't want you to put these hashtags in your bio. And the reason is that when somebody clicks on this hashtag, they're taken away from your page somewhere else. Okay. That's not Ted's bio whatsoever. So stop, get those out of there. All those are doing are drawing people away. Good that you have your website. You haven't made any reels yet. You got some magazine covers, which are cool. I would way rather have you holding a copy of this magazine up saying, look, I'm in this. Okay. So we know what you look like and we know what you're doing. Again, I imagine there's not a whole lot of actual photos of Ted in here, right? There's definitely JPEG after JPEG after JPEG after JPEG after JPEG after JPEG. You don't sell JPEGs. You sell these things. They're real. They have 3 dimensions. The light reflects off of them. They're able to be hung on a wall. So you need to start doing some merchandising of your art more often, showing it off, talking about it, saying, look, this is it. Because you're not selling JPEGs. No one's selling JPEGs. All we see all day long on social media are JPEG after JPEG after JPEG after JPEG after JPEG. And we're immune to them now, right? Like anytime you see something that many times, you're immune to it. And you can't lust after a JPEG. You can lust after something like this, especially when you're holding it and showing the dimensions and talking about acrylic and talking about the difference between acrylic and metal, right? And then it really gets going from there. So that's what I would say on yours. But that's simple, and then just follow the rest of the advice we've given so far. Okay. Gonna get another one here at random. All right, Jenny Powell. I'm going to grab Jenny Powell Photography. I'm just kind of going through the chat at random. Like once you get the basic advice on what it looks like, it's all pretty simple. Follow somebody that's kicking butt, and then if your Instagram profile does not look like theirs, then you're on the wrong track. Okay, Jenny Powell, natural and wildlife photography. Find the beauty in the natural world around you. Start in your backyard. Okay, so it's only going to allow you to have one link. I would focus the one link on that's whatever's the the most advantageous for you. If you've got a big portfolio on your Wix site, if this is your main site, you should probably do it. I don't know what's going on this site. Let's see what's going on this site. Okay, so here's your store. You've got 2 different sites going on. Pick one. Pick the most advantageous one. Otherwise, you would need to get a link tree. I definitely want to see some, some emoticons to make this pop a little bit. You too need Instagram stories on yours. My guess is that because Jenny is hiding behind the lens here, and by the way, okay, this is what I would do too. I would hide behind the lens. Hey, there's one. Is that you? See, that's what I'm talking about. I've got something for you too. So look at this. You have all of these beautiful things printed out that you could show on demand, and you're not showing them anywhere on your entire profile here. Again, this is like JPEG after JPEG after JPEG doesn't cut it. You have to break up the visual rhythm of what's going on in here. You can show them occasionally, but you can't show them all the time. And you also have got to get going some reels, right? You probably have some great examples of reels. I'm going to send to you, and I'm going to put this in the chat because it is something I'm very proud of. I just finished writing this thing, I don't know, a month ago now, maybe 3 weeks ago. Where is it? Here, Ultimate Guide to Shows and Theirs. This is like the most tactical, in-depth, gnarly thing. And put it in the chat right now. I want you to click on that and grab it because it's the real deal. Yeah, okay. I saw what you said. But I want you to look at this show guide. I'm going to unmute you, Jenny. Sorry, I meant to be doing that. I kind of bobbing all around here. Okay, I'm going to unmute you now, Jenny, so you can ask a follow-up. I love the fact that you're doing shows and theirs. I want you to read this before the next time you do a show and thair. Seriously. It is like the most in-depth, tactical, strategic guide to how to get the most out of theirs and shows. I love the theirs and shows. I find that they're like an incredible way. The way that I like to say it is like it's part of like a balanced diet of art marketing, right? Like, so I love that you're doing that. But yeah, any follow-ups?
That was the first one I did. I don't know why the profile, I only entered one URL. It decides to pull in the other one.
That's what you were saying. Yeah. So that's annoying. I don't know why it's doing that.
Yeah, I don't know. But I put jennypphotography.com, and then it's adding the Wix site URL below it automatically, and I can't get rid of it.
Yep. But you have the inventory. I want your smiling face holding the inventory like this. It will make a huge difference. Trust me.
That was my first show, so I didn't have the inventory until recently.
Okay, good. Well, you got it now. Start rocking it.
Yeah.
And you're also ready to run a live art show now that you have the inventory, which is one of the fantastic things about having the inventory. So I'm also going to send you a guide on how to do that. I don't need to pull it up right now, but I'll send you a guide on how to run live art shows. It's not the topic of today's thing, but once you have the inventory, everything changes.
Cool.
Okay. And you look like you won the comfortable chair contest of the day.
It is a good chair.
Yeah. Jenny's winning over there. She's just in the lap of luxury. It looks like one of those like hardcore gaming chairs. All right, I'm clicking at random. Get the zoom down. Get this up. Katie M. Vaughn. Lovely photo. Katie's cooking with gas here. 505 followers. She's got stories going on. She's embedding her reels in her Instagram. She's got story highlights. Oh, yeah. It's not going to let me show it on... oh, well. It's kind of a buggy experience a little bit in the desktop, right? On the computer rather than... Ooh. Spooky Owl. Yeah, so you're doing great. Let me just see your feed makeup, and I love it. Get the kids in there sometimes too. Like, you've got kids, you're doing the family vacations, you're doing things. The one nice thing to like contemplate is like you always want to look when you're on the phone. Yes, absolutely about what the breakup looks like, but we're just looking at a grid, right? We're looking at a grid here on the cell phone, and we're sort of looking at a grid here on the desktop version. And if you're getting lulled in because it's a lot of the same, regardless if it's your beautiful work, then you always want to break it up, right? Like you want to break the patterns up. And a great way to do that is when you throw in photos of the kids or when you throw in photos of you. You need more pictures of you merchandising the art as well, I feel like. You could certainly use more. You holding it up, you standing next to it on a wall, giving the photos some dimensions. Let me see how your reels are going. Isn't it amazing? So this is the thing that blows my mind about Reels. It's so incredible. So Katie's got 505 followers, and she's rocking 3,000, 6,000, 6,038 views on some of these, which is just insane. And people love this. People love the My Process stuff. I mean, they go nuts for this. And you throw a little music in there. I can guarantee this one has music. Love the Chili's. Great song. So good job on the Reels. I would imagine on some of these, because you're getting decent view counts, that you're probably getting decent comment counts. This one's got 3. Let's see what this one has. See, this is a buying question right here. Right here, that is a buying question. Now, I don't know. I got to unmute her and ask her if it's a family member or not. I'm going to unmute you, Katie. Is Sean Grasser a friend? You'll have to unmute, I think.
Sorry. Yeah, friend.
Okay. Doesn't matter to me. I want you to go in here and do the buying. Just, you can send him a text message and say, hey, I need you for my marketing, and do the buying question thing, right? And again, to show you the buying question thing, this is so important, because this is an exact example of what the buying questions look like. I'm going to do it on mine because it's the only way I can show it. So, all right, this one. Did I get comments on this one? Why isn't it showing me? I went the wrong way. Look at that one. What is going on here? Hold on. Recenter myself. Do I have to? Oh, I have to be in the Reels tab when I do this. I forgot about that. So let's just see this one. So okay, so on her example, okay, and I'm going to pull this down and just show. I was on, which one was I on? This one. So there's this example of a buying question. Now in this case, it's her friend, right? I get that, but look, early on, we sometimes have to fake it until we make it. This made me smile. Glad you are feeding your creative soul. You are so talented, okay? So let's all envision that is the comment that we're responding to. And here's my version of it, right? And so I made this video, and someone said, great advice as always. So for me, Art Storefronts, trying to get people to sign up for it, that's a buying question. I want to turn that thing into a selling conversation right now. And so I'm just going to go ahead and reply. Okay, little blue camera icon here to the left. Great advice as always. If you think that advice is good, wait till you see what we have going on inside Art Storefronts. You would be absolutely blown away at the caliber of education you get, especially on Reels. So highly recommend you come to one of my webinars, potentially get a demo, and we'd love to bring you on as a customer. Stop. Next. Share. Done. Boom. Finished, right? So I just responded to what I call a buying question, and I turned it, or I'm attempting to turn it anyway, into a selling conversation, right? Like, go get a demo, go do this, go do the other thing. So I think you need to start doing that on yours. Other than that, I like what you're doing. I just want to see you holding the work a little bit more. But I loved your story highlights. I love the fact that you're showing a little bit of the family, showing a little bit of you, what makes you tick, what you're interested in. You live on the coast. You've got some surfing going on. So on balance, I think you're doing great. You just need to stay at it and do it more consistently. Thoughts, comments? Sometimes when you unmute, I have to unmute you again. So there you go.
Thank you. Yeah, I think consistency is my issue.
How often do you
recommend?
Issue. So it's less about some sort of magical formula or post per week or this or that. None of that matters. Do you. But do it for 52 weeks a year, Katie. And I have kids. I know it's hard, but do it for 52 weeks a year. That's what no one does. All artists treat their marketing like a New Year's resolution. The end of the year comes and it's like, okay, it's going to be my year. I'm going to do it. I'm going to crush it. I'm going to kill it, right? And you take it real seriously, and it's January 1, and it's the gym membership, and you're going 4 days a week. And then February comes along, and you've been once all month, right? And then that resolution's out the window. All artists treat their marketing like that. And they always ask me, like, well, what do I have to do? What do I have to commit? If you just write the mental check for 52 weeks, 50 weeks, you can take a couple weeks off, right? Of the year, you'll move mountains. It's the only thing that ever does. You'll move mountains. And not only that, normally what happens is, like, right about the time you quit, say you're like, I'm going to do it. You're doing it 3 months consistently. And you're like, damn it all, this is not paying off. And you quit at 3 months. It's like 3 months and 3 days where a big order comes in. And then the emotional reservoir gets filled up. and boom, the roller coaster's on its way again, right? So you just have to stay at it consistent. But definitely, like, you know, I'm looking at your feed now, right? And then I'm looking. Okay. So let me get out of that, and I'm gonna go back to our feed. So I'm looking at our feed now, and okay, interesting. There's some cool photos in here, but you're kind of defaulting to one class of photo too much. And then I look at your Zoom background. I'm like, damn, that's an interesting background. Where's that photo? Where's Katie's smiling face with that background, right? So that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. And what coast do you live on, just out of curiosity? Is this the East Coast? Yes? Florida or something?
Miami.
Miami, yep.
Another Miami.
Yep, another Miami on here. Very cool. I'm going to click on this other one. It's just about a matter of timing. Get this out of the way. I had this like foot pedal thing because I have so many things going on. So every time I like switch the little view, it's like a foot pedal, and I'm still trying to get the hang of it. It's like left one, right one. Anyway, all right. Who am I looking at now? I am looking at. Let me get to it. Dan Lovely. So 8,500 posts or 8,500 followers. I mean, that's a good clip of followers. Traditional artist Daniel Lovely, Proton Mail, my kind of guy. The skeptic of sorts. I'm right on board with you. I like all this. I like that you have a link tree going on. I would say though, Dan, you know, you're an artist, and I know you have the vision. Get rid of this goofy ass font, dude. I can barely read this. No one else can even barely read this. The font is goofy. That's got to go, I think. But that's what I would say. Okay, the fact that you have 8,500 followers is impressive. I don't know if those are all legit or if you played games to get those, and you know you can be truthful or not truthful. All right, you're showing some of you in here. Again, though, the art, the majority of the art here is 2D. Or is it sculptures? I mean, what is it? I'm still not completely clear what your art is exactly. I guess I probably shouldn't look at this story. So let's see. He's got, again, these things load so crappy. So he's got scenic artwork. And these look to be original. So these are so easily monetized. No one wants to see these on a flat background. I would default every single solitary time to holding it. Every single solitary time I would. Because again, like, don't make us think. Like the issue you guys have, and no one ever tells you this, is that you have these insane creative visual brains. And with your brains, you are capable of visualizing that work hanging on a wall. We can't. I don't have any damn idea what your stuff looks like on a wall. And until I see it like this, I'm never going to know. I'm never going to know what it is. So that's what I would say. You definitely need to do some more monetizing there. You need to get going on the reels straight away. That's without question. And then, yeah, you're using Etsy, but you know, Etsy's not helping you out any. I mean, it's just not. Let's see what your shop is. Okay, so you've got a shop here on whatever this is, jewelry. So you got a bunch of different things going on. I can see. We could definitely help you on the website side of things. But that's what I would say. Let me find Dan, see if he's got any follow-ups. Dan, are you on here? Is Dan? Oh, I don't know. Is he gone? I don't know if he's gone or not. Do you love? There you are. I got you. I'm going to unmute you. If you have any follow-ups, you can chime in. Are you there? Do you love? If you don't want to, that's okay too. Doesn't matter to me. Okay, I'm going to keep scrolling up, finding another one. Yeah, I did. All right, hold on, let's see what this one is. Oh, no, I already did Tanya Gonzalez. Somebody else throw one in there. Oh, here's one. Oh, no, Olga's already did. Oh, yeah, what was the fashion one I wanted to show her? And go ahead, Moses, I'll answer your question while I'm finding this. You can unmute, Moses. Is it refashioned art? That's what I thought it was.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
All right, I sent my Instagram in, but I noticed that everybody was sending it as a link. I only have the app. Is there any way you can type that in and then send it up? Because I know that you're typing it and you're doing it by random, but I just wanted to get some advice from you on it.
Yeah. Go ahead. Is it Laura Mad?
Okay.
Oh, here she is.
All right.
Where's Olga? Is Olga still on here? And then I'll get you to next. Is this it?
No problem.
Yeah. Is she showing her art in here too? Yeah, this is it. Anyway, I'm going to throw this in the chat, Olga, and I want you to follow her, and you can get an idea of how, like, someone that's like part model, part trying to grow the modeling business, and then part doing the art. I thought she had her thing was more. Sorry, I'm just chasing this down. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to spend any more time on that. But Olga, grab that out of the chat and check that out. It'll help you out. All right. What's your handle, Moses? You got to unmute again, brother. I got to find you. All right. Go ahead. No, I'm unmuting you.
All right.
Oh,
It's,
V Moses. I see it. Is it underscore V Moses?
Yeah.
Entrepreneur, V Moses. You got to give me a little bit more than entrepreneur. I need a little bio here. Victor. And I got to unmute you again. Oh, you're somewhere where it's loud or something, huh? And by the way,
no,
on Zoom it says Moses Victor. Are you actually Victor Moses?
Real name is Moses Victor, but people always call me Victor, so I just put it first, and I put V Moses.
There's a famous soccer player named Victor Moses. He used to play for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So give me a little bio going here, okay, with a little bit more than whatever this symbol is. This doesn't tell me anything. I don't know what the hell you're doing, right? Okay. You got to get some story highlights going on. You need somewhere to link, ideally, right? You're not doing any reels yet. You got great detail in your portraits, though. I don't even want to know how much time this takes you. Don't even tell me. I don't want to know how much time. And see, there we go. This is a perfect example of stuff you should be doing more often, like you holding the portrait, right? The smiling customer who purchased it, which is great. And then you just don't have enough going on. You just need to start hitting this thing consistently. More consistently than you are currently, that's for sure. But that's what I would say. And then watch this and just, rewatch this thing and follow the specs, right? That's what I would say. Go ahead, Pam. You're up next. Where did Pam go? Did I unmute her? I'm going to try again. Ask to unmute. Are you there, Pam? Okay, now I've got you. Are you there, Pam? I heard you for a second, or I hear background noises, but that's all I can hear.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. My handle is at Pam Markham Artist.
Pam, how do I spell Markham?
M-A-R-K-H-A-M.
H-A-M, artist. That's you.
That's me.
Gotcha. I want a higher quality photo of you. This thing looks out of focus. Okay. I can barely see your beautiful face there. I mean, this is a much higher quality photo, so you could even just, grab from that one if you like. But get rid of that thing. That looks terrible. It looks sad. I'm depressed. Okay. Let's start there. Get rid of that. Again, I think interpreting animals, oil, and landscape, see more. I would put a little bit more personality into that personally, and I would spice it up with some emojis, kind of like I showed on Betty's, right? Like,
yes.
It just gives you a really good opportunity to put like a little bit of personality in there, right?
Right.
Something that's a window into who you are, what makes you tick, more than just Texas artist interpreting people, animals, landscapes, and oils, acrylics, and pastels. Boring. That tells me nothing, Pam. So give me something interesting in there. You need to start doing the Instagram stories, which are also important.
Yes. I've never done one, or maybe I did one, but it's been a long time. So.
Yep. But I love these. These break things up so nice. Like you're doing like a good job breaking up the visual rhythm. And it's one of those things like after time you just get trained to it. But there's this word marketing. I hate it. I don't know who came up with that. I'd like to pistols at dawn fight him. But the pattern interrupt, right? And what a lot of people get stuck in is the pattern of like 2D image, 2D image, 2D image, 2D image, and instantaneously I'm lulled to sleep and I'm going to look at cat videos. But even just something as simple as this breaks it up, right? I don't have any idea what's going on here in the truck, but it visually jars you a little bit. So you're doing a decent job at that. If you have too much of the same and too long of a block, it's problematic, right? And you can, by the way, just as easily go in and delete these things and repost them if you're so inclined. So that's a good way to do it. I like these images of you painting, live air too, which is great. But you do need to start making some reels. I just see you've made some videos too, which is good though. That makes me happy.
So the reels are where we all need to go. I hear that.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
It is. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a big deal. What part of Texas do you live in, just out of curiosity?
I live north of Houston, Huntsville, Texas.
Nice. Nice. Yeah.
But today I'm in South Texas. I'm down at the coast doing some plein air painting.
Nice. In Galveston?
I'm sorry?
In Galveston?
No, I'm down south at Corpus Christi.
Oh, Corpus Christi. Nice. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to date a gal in. My wife just came in the door. She'd be like, I used to date a gal. And that was always the interesting thing. We're going to the coast. They used to always say the coast. She lived in Houston too. But okay. Awesome. That's what you do on your end, Pam. Good. Yes, Emily, I see. You were persistent in there with the Field of Rain. Yeah, 1,000 followers. My strong feeling is if you're 100% about the gender pronouns, put them in there. You know, if you feel like extremely strongly about that movement and the equality and everything that it entails, good, put them on there. Otherwise, my advice to most other people is remain Swiss neutral. And it's no different than, like, you know, putting your politics out there in art, regardless of what side it is. I don't like putting thing, unless you're like eating, living, breathing a particular thing. I don't like leading with it if it's going to offend half the people. And it doesn't matter if it's anything politically charged, what in today's day and age will offend half the people. And so unless that is your entire jam, I would get it out of there. That's just my 2 cents. I'm like that. I'm Swiss neutral, right? When you remain Swiss neutral, you know, you unless you're living it, dying it, and like that's your whole thing, and like you feel so strongly about it, just remain Swiss neutral. It's not worth putting off fires, at least not up front. So I'm a tech pro turned artist from Pittsburgh. Follow my journey, arts and cats. See, there's a good idea. Get a cat emoji in there, right? But instantaneously, you know, she's into cats. Good link to the site. We've got some story highlights. I would probably get a couple more. And again, like, you know, the great idea with the story highlights is just think of this as the menu representing the menu on your website, right? That's what it is. It's essentially like a menu of Instagram. And what I should be able to do if I click on all these things is just get a quick high level idea of, you know, what's on offer on your website, right? Other than that, we got a good breakup stuff, doing art shows in person. You know, there's pictures of you, there's pictures of your process. You're doing a good job on Instagram. You've gotten some reels going on too. New art supplies, love it. And you've got some text on top of the images too, showing off plenty of you, pumping iron there, showing off the biceps, love it. You just need to do it more consistently, Emily. More consistently. You knew that though. You knew I was going to say that. Consistency is the key. Oh, you're right. I was doing that the whole time and not showing the doggone Instagram pages. God, I need to have someone in here like yelling at me when I'm not showing it and I'm not seeing it. One of the additional resources that I want to send you guys, and I'm going to put it into, well, I'll actually remember to send it. I haven't been remembering to sell it, but I did like an entire deep dive on how to turn
department here at Art Storefronts.
How to turn, shut up, you blowhard, turn in the buying questions into selling conversations. And that's essentially, I'll put it in the chat right now, just so you guys have it. That's essentially, one, what the concept looks like, and then two, the interesting iteration of it is when you start grabbing comments on your Instagram Reels and replying to them as buying questions. That's an extremely powerful piece of content. So did I just throw that into the chat or not? I know it's Emily's here. All right. What you realize when you try to like run a one-man television studio is that there's a reason that there are no one-man television studios. It's a two-person job. Multitasking is the death. It's the death of me. Okay. I'm gonna wrap it there because I'm out of steam, and I've got to go do something. But guys, just throw some love into Instagram right now, and get ready for the fourth quarter. Okay. Do I want you to sign up for Art Storefronts? Yes, I do. Can I give you some compelling reasons why I want you to do that? Yes, I can. Do you have to be a member of Art Storefronts to participate into what is the #1 holiday art buying season that exists? No, you don't. Okay? All of you guys can participate in this. Your success is going to be dictated by the amount of marketing you do between now and when the fourth quarter comes. I don't want you waking up a week before Thanksgiving starts and going, oh, I forgot I should have a sail in the water. No one's going to even see it because you haven't been doing any marketing. You haven't warmed up your audience and you don't have anything going on. For those that are interested in art storefronts, great time to sign up because we realized that artists and photographers have three things they should be working on: creating the stuff, marketing the stuff, and selling the stuff. Anything that you do that's not those three is not growing the business. It is just being busy. And so we realized that what artists should not be doing and what photographers should not be doing is programming websites, coding websites, HTML, CSS, dealing with forms, going to GoDaddy, or any of the above. So when you sign up with us now, we build your website for you, the entire thing. You're not going to touch any of it. All you're doing is putting all your images in a bucket, uploading them to us, and we do all the rest. We will get your website built. We will get you dialed in ahead of the fourth quarter. So if any of that interests you, you can just reply to an email that I send you or request a demo, and we'll get you dialed in. Kent's got a question, and we'll finish with Kent today. Go ahead, Kent.
Yeah. Hey, Patrick. Thanks.
Yeah,
so understand this has been the Instagram audit, and it's been very beneficial and helpful to see. I've been driving, but got pulled over and was able to see and listen. So I have zero at this point.
Yep.
I know I've dabbled with building a website, played with Wix, this, that, and the next thing.
Yeah.
I've thought about Facebook. It drives me in circles and fries my brain.
Yep.
There's Instagram, there's TikTok, and it's like it all needs to somehow intertwine, but I don't know necessarily let me do it this way. What is the absolute, where do you really start? Is it Instagram and a website, portfolio website, and that's it? And I would say that's it, as in that's the end game. But where do you start?
Yeah. So let's start the very, very beginning. And I'm going to ask you a pointed question, and I want a real answer. Have you sold your work to people not named mom, dad, brother, family, friends?
Yes.
Okay. Once you've sold your work to strangers, you now know that you have a product that the market wants. And the good news is you no longer have the problem is my art good enough? Will it sell? You figured that out. Now you have the same problem all the rest of us have, which is the marketing problem, right? So
correct.
You have to mentally write the check that you're going to be at this for 3 to 5 years. 2, you have to mentally write the check that the technology is going to frustrate the living hell out of you. It will for a period of years. It will overwhelm you. You're going to be pulling your hair out of your head. And once you come to terms with that, it gets quite a bit easier. And I'm not kidding when I say that. I mean, I'm an expert at this stuff, and it frustrates the hell out of me daily. Next, yes, you need to have your art up on a website. It's very, very important that you have a home base that you can send them to purchase it. Next is Instagram. Third is Facebook. So you need to have the web presence. You need to have the social networks and be posting on the social networks. The beautiful time about getting started right now in today's day and age is unlike the years and years and years the rest of us spent to have to build up followers on Instagram, you can start posting reels and reach thousands without having any followers whatsoever. So the playing field has kind of been leveled. Again, thank you, TikTok, for that. And then your website needs to be capturing emails. You need to be emailing the emails you capture with regular frequency. You need to be having sales at the preordained times throughout the year. Yes, Black Friday is important. Yes, Cyber Monday is important. Yes, pre-Christmas is important, but there's other ones throughout the year as well. And then you need to just keep your head down for a couple of years without quitting. And that's the hardest part for everyone. No one ever keeps their head down without quitting. They all quit. Everybody quits. And then they just go back to creating the art and saying, and then rinse and repeat next year, New Year's resolution again.
Okay. So I can start with website, Instagram, forget all the rest, but start there.
Yep, 100%.
Is that a fair statement?
It's 100% a fair statement. Yes.
All right, cool.
And don't waste too much time on the website. Once the website is up and the work is for sale there, then it just all becomes marketing. And I also,
gotcha.
I also like, I have the benefit of having been doing this for like a long time now, and early on you get in your career and you have you have your preconceived notions which are based on your own experiences that are intelligent notions, but you haven't had enough reps and sets and seen enough data to be able to say it with like a high level of conviction. That's changed. Now I have. I've read all the damn books. Okay, I've listened to all the podcasts. I've talked to people that are at every single solitary scale of the field of trying to make it and be a successful artist. And what I've come to realize is the only ones that are truly successful in making money, unicorns aside, and the ones that are professional athletes aside, everybody plays basketball, everybody plays golf, and then you think about the ones that are professional golfers or professional basketball players. That's a really, 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 really low percentage, right? For everyone else, they're just trying to have the best career that they can. The number one way to do that is have your own art on your own website, be selling directly, and then work regularly and consistently on your marketing. A fantastic way to help you out in that journey and that endeavor is throw in some local fairs and shows throughout the year. You do that consistently, you have an art business that's growing year over year. Are the first couple of years, do they suck? You bet your ass they do. They suck. You're grinding, you're getting low results, you're like, things are barely moving. But if you get out of bed every morning and you keep the ball moving forward and you keep focusing on just that, you have a business all of a sudden that's growing year after year after year. Anything else, throwing my work up on this marketplace or that marketplace, trying to get galleries to represent me in the hopes that they're going to do all the sales and marketing for me, no one makes any money doing that. It is such, and the ones that do in the galleries are like, you know, it's the population of everyone that likes golf versus the pro golfers. That's how low the level of success is. And so I really have a very, very, you know, finite hypothesis on that. And now we have 7,800 customers, I think, at Art Storefronts. And year after year after year, I get to look at everyone's data. I look at all the data to macro to micro. I see what is actually driving sales, what are actually growing the businesses. And it's selling direct, doing the marketing, throwing in some local fairs and shows, or doing local fairs and shows with the website all year long, some combination thereof, and doing it year after year after year. The people that do their businesses are growing.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to send you a replay. The replay will have a whole bunch of stuff I want you to look at. It'll have this video from today's session, at least the one I did earlier, because I screwed up on what I was recording, you know, the thing that I played up front. And I think the combination of those will give you a really good idea of some things that you can get started on. If you're interested in joining Art Storefronts, fantastic time to do that. We'd love to have you on board. I don't really do the sales pitch thing, so that's the best I got. Other than that, have great weekends, all of you guys. Appreciate you sticking in, getting the audits, everything else. I'll send you a follow-up email. If you have follow-up questions, just reply to the email. I love answering that. And Douglas, I'll answer this really quickly, because I get variations of this question all the time. Will businesses and corporations find reels on Instagram? How can an average artist compete with the big galleries who advertise in big art publications with their big money, are big businesses and corporations, interior designers for their art buying? You don't have to worry about any of that nonsense. All you have to worry about is marketing consistently. What you're asking, the premise of your question is, I know how I'm going to build my business. I'm going to build my business by targeting the interior designers, the high net worth collectors, the high net worth buyers. That's every single solitary human being in the world is trying to target the high net worth individuals in the big corporations and the big interior designers. By virtue of the fact that everyone's trying to target those people, it makes it the most difficult people to target, period, full stop. Okay? So you don't worry about that. What you do is you worry about doing your marketing regularly and consistently. And what happens as a result of that is you start building momentum. And that is the only way that big business, that interior designers, and any of the big, you know, that advertise in art publications ever find you. And that's just how it works, right? That is just how it works. But I've got stories and stories and stories of that. Other than that, appreciate all of you guys. Have great weekends. Yeah. And I hope to see you either on the inside or on a future session, or